You really believe in this Loki variant?
Luckily, he believes in himself enough for the both of us.
Welcome back to Director's Choice. Marvel's new show, Loki, is filled with twist after grueling twist. We get all the Loki shenanigans we know and love. Everything from quirky one-liners from Loki himself and the surrounding cast to being threatened by this mysterious organization. The Time Variance Authority, or TVA, starts as a secretive organization shrouded in mystery that quickly becomes something we've been slowly unfolding episode by episode. Here's everything you need to know about the TVA. The TVA is an agency that exists beyond time and space. Its only concern is monitoring and correcting the realities throughout the multiverse to assure that each is following what they consider to be the sacred timeline, which is what we've seen play out through the MCU.
It's baby.
It's Scott.
As a baby.
He'll grow.
Bring Scott back.
In the first episode, we're given the history of the TVA by a character named Miss Minutes. She explains that at some point in the past, there was a war that spanned across the multiverse. A majority of timelines were battling each other to see which was most superior. This was soon stopped by a trio known only as the Timekeepers, as they reorganized the entire multiverse into one single stream of existence that would be known as the Sacred Timeline. The TVA was created by the Timekeepers to help protect and preserve this timeline. They are there to erase and correct anything that is seen as a variance from the timeline, as it could cause branches in the timeline and lead to the multiverse recreating itself.
Know this. You cross me, there we go.
The TVA is created of multiple people that are first explained as just creations made by the Timekeepers to help keep everything in check. However, we've once again found out that this was a well-hidden lie that no one in the TVA even knew about. We find out that they are in fact the very thing they are removing from the sacred timeline: variants. Firstly, we have hunters. We first see them when they hunt down Loki after he uses the Tesseract and takes him into the TVA HQ. There are an abundant number of them, and they seem to all strictly follow the rules they are given by their higher-ups. None of them seem to question anything when it comes to what the TVA has to do. That is, until Sylvie accesses memories in both Hunter C20 and Hunter D90's minds and makes them realize that they are more than just creations of the Timekeepers. They were variants that were pulled from their timelines and brainwashed to be part of this secret system. Then there's Mobius, who interrogates and plays many mind games with Loki. He has the same wit as the god of mischief, but doesn't fall for the charm of the trickster in the slightest. This has been known to hurt him and Loki's relationship, as he is often untrusting, even if Loki's telling the truth.
You picked up the Tesseract, breaking reality. I want you to help us fix it.
Finally, we have Ravonna Renslayer, the head of this organization. We see her give orders to both Hunters and Mobius. She also seems to have a direct connection to the Timekeepers, who she says are always watching their work closely. She has been shaped up to be a secondary villain in the 3rd and 4th episodes.
What I need to do.
Wait, together.
I'm sorry, Mobius.
When the sacred timeline is altered or in any way set off its original course by any person, then that person is considered a variant. When these variants shift the timeline, it means that they have changed the timeline in something called a nexus event, and that has made their reality branch away from the sacred timeline. Loki receiving the Tesseract caused one of these nexus events and made him a variant to the TVA. Those variants are collected and brought back to the TVA headquarters to be judged, while the branch that was created due to their actions is completely wiped from existence. Variants are then judged, and it seems, based on the television show, that most are pruned.
How do you plead?
Madam, a god doesn't plead.
Are you guilty or not guilty, sir?
Guilty of being the god of mischief, yes.
The TVA agents and soldiers carry around these sticks that almost look like they have a bug zapper fused to the end. These devices are first seen in episode 1, with a good example being while Loki is in the ticket line. Another variant in line without a ticket is zapped by a TVA agent and disintegrates before our very eyes. We then proceed to believe that pruning just means erasing from existence or death. Well, a bit of a spoiler alert. It doesn't exactly mean death. Loki himself is pruned by Ravonna Renslayer in episode 4, and in the ending credits, we see that he isn't quite dead. In episode 5, we find out that Loki is quite often a variant, and many Lokis end up at the end of time. The end of time is where you're sent, as it's just a void. It's simply a way to remove threats to the timeline by placing them after the timeline has more or less ended. There's a beast made out of the void called Alioth.
TVA needs to be brought down. We don't know who created it or where they are, but that thing out there does.
The Timekeepers are known by anyone and everyone at the TVA as the overseers of the sacred timeline. They are the main goal of both Loki and Sylvie, even if for different reasons. We realized this when Sylvie and Loki cut the head off one of the Timekeepers in the 4th episode. The other Timekeepers seem to laugh at the death of the third, and as the two trickster gods pick up the head, they see that it's full of circuits and wires. These so-called Timekeepers are nothing more than puppets that are used to keep the TVA in their place, and just as in the dark as anyone else that gets involved. Puppets for who? Well, that's just the thing. We have no idea who they are just yet. What we do know is that Sylvie and Loki are lined up to meet them in the next episode. Sylvie's hypothesis that now seems correct is that the real Keeper of Time is hiding past the end of time with the demon Alioth as its protector. With episode 5 ending in Alioth's demise, we have to assume the next episode will focus on who is behind all this and why this timeline is so dang important. Again, it's unclear at this point in time, but we do have a few good guesses as to whom it may be. First of all, we have an interview from Miss Minutes voice actor Tara Strong. In the interview, she said, "Well, I can cryptically tease that you'll see her again." Later in the interview, Tara Strong also revealed there's much more to be revealed, and it's fun to watch that unfold. Loki's director, Kate Herron, has also said something in the same vein, teasing that Miss Minutes still has an interesting journey ahead of her. Plus, Miss Minutes looks too innocent to actually be just some AI program, right?
That is not nice. Jerk.
That's not the only theory that's out there. Lesser theories include that it may be just another Loki variant with multiple time stones. However, we haven't seen how multiple of the same time stone would work, or if it would even work. We have to believe that it wouldn't. Also, the time stones are paperweights in the TVA headquarters, so they seem like they are useless to whoever this may be. Another theory is that it may be a variant of Doctor Strange. Most evidence from this seems to come from Doctor Strange's new movie, Multiverse of Madness. It's a clever thought, but we haven't seen much to promote this theory from interviews or clues in the show. Trust me, I've searched endlessly to find anything promoting this idea, as it's our favorite fan theory. If you ask us, as much as I love the idea of some multiverse version of Doctor Strange in the castle at the end of time, it's pretty unlikely. While we don't know everything about the Timekeepers, the TVA, or the person behind the entire operation, what we do know is that we want to see Loki and Sylvie take it all down. No matter who's behind it, no matter what the reason, we want to see the multiverses thrive again. It sounds like a lot of fun, but it also seems like it may be better to let everyone live their lives however they want. Who do you think will be behind the entire TVA organization? Let us know your theories in the comments. Take a look at this other recent clip by Director's Choice, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified with our latest videos.